In this video, I'd like to talk about how Solid Edge enables you to manipulate the view. There are 4 places where you can get most of your view manipulation commands. The first place is the view bar in the lower right-hand corner. The second place is from the mouse itself with the various buttons, including the right mouse button menu and the radial menu. Third will be the various options that you can find in the Pathfinder. And finally, we'll get some view manipulation commands from the Solid Edge ribbon itself. Let's go through these areas one by one. First, the view bar has some commonly used tools such as zoom area, zoom in and out, zoom to fit, and you can also pan and rotate. Rotate can also be achieved by dragging the middle mouse button. You hold down the middle mouse button and drag the mouse. There's a command for getting back to the sketch view for when you're in a sketch, and that has a default hotkey, Control-H. Speaking of default hotkeys, you can use the Quick Access toolbar to get to the keyboard customization area and view all of the default hotkeys and create additional custom keys to speed up your work. The view orientation box allows you to mouse over various views and get a preview. You can also save custom views where the view angle and the zoom state are saved. And then the zoom scale slider allows you to zoom in and out. This slider uses the center of the screen as the center of zoom. But you can also zoom using the scroll wheel on the mouse, and that will use the mouse cursor as the center of the zoom. Now we move to the commands that are available from the mouse. We've already mentioned middle mouse button drag for rotate and the scroll wheel for zoom, but there are also several view type commands that are available from the right mouse button menu. For example, zoom area, zoom fit, pan, rotate, and so on. The Common Views functionality brings up this small box that allows you to select different faces on a cube or on the arrows that allow you to rotate the model. This works very much like the Quick View Cube, and in fact it may be a predecessor to the View Cube. The Quick View Cube has the advantage that it is not hidden behind the right mouse button menu. Another one that you may want to know is the keyboard shortcut Alt F5 for previous view. I find myself using this one very frequently. Also, the keyboard will allow you to rotate the view using the arrows. Here's a summary of all the mouse and keyboard shortcut tools. Pause the video and screen capture this to keep it handy. Included in the view manipulation will be the show and hide commands. Show all, hide all. The Show Hide All component entry in the right mouse button menu isn't to show or hide the components, but it allows you to show various types of entities within the components. So showing surfaces or curves within individual parts or PMI dimensions can all be handled from this dialog box. The radial menu is available by holding down your right mouse button. By default, it has a couple of view tools on it, such as zoom area and zoom. By using the customization tools, you can personalize the radial menu as well as the keyboard shortcuts we talked about earlier. If you set the view tools up on the inner ring, they can act as commands controlled by single-stroke gestures. To use a gesture, you hold down the right mouse button and move the mouse at the same time. And you have to memorize the commands on the inner ring, along with the direction to move to enable that command. Options from the Pathfinder also allow you to turn on or off various components using the eyeballs in the Pathfinder. You can right-click on a part in the view, and Scroll to will find that part for you in the Pathfinder. Zoom to will find it for you in the graphics window. Also, from the Assembly Pathfinder, we have the standard Show, Hide, Show All, Hide All, and Isolate, tools that you are already familiar with from SolidWorks. In the View tab of the ribbon is a toggle button that toggles the view state of any hidden parts. The hidden parts will be temporarily shown as transparent. Also in the View tab of the ribbon, there are several familiar commands, but also some that you may not be familiar with. For example, Look at Face enables you to click on the face of a part, and Solid Edge will swing the view normal to that face. This is similar to the Normal To function in SolidWorks. Spin About will allow you to rotate the model based on a selected face, and in this case we can use the steering wheel to rotate the model in a controlled way. Also from the ribbon, we have the refresh view command and the previous view, which we mentioned before as Alt F5. We can also change the quick view cube settings from these icons. The quick view cube should be intuitive and easy to use. You can click on a face to square up the view to that particular direction. You can use one of the arrows to rotate, or use one of the corners to get an isometric view. You can also click on an edge to get a dimetric view, and then bring it back to the home view, which is again isometric. The View tab also allows us to toggle the display for the model, so we can view it in wireframe, visible with edges, visible with hidden edges, shaded with no edges, or shaded with edges. You can also manage color in a couple of different ways. The color manager is one way to do it, but the easier method is to use the style palette, which is available from the list of panes. You can drag a style from the palette onto your part. It's very easy. It makes it easy and quick to change colors and help you visualize the model and even prepare for rendering. Additional visualization tools can be had on the View tab, and these will include high-quality rendering to help smooth out some of the edges, perspective to get a better view of your models, sharpen, single-color edges, floor shadows, and floor reflections to get a more realistic visualization. Face overrides will allow you to change individual face textures and visual properties. The View Overrides dialog will help you work through rendering, lights, textures, perspective, anti-alias, background, and various other visual properties. The Styles is all about visual styles that you can establish for dimensions, faces, crosshatching, and 3D view styles. Another type of visualization is the ability to open new windows and change between the windows. Each new window that you open will create a tab along the top of the graphics window. You can switch back and forth between these tabs very easily. You can also create a new floating window and take this floating window outside of the application window and even place it on a separate monitor if you have that available to you. Or you can use this Switch Windows button to switch between windows that are currently open. This is essentially the same as using Control-Tab to switch between open windows. You can also set up section views in the 3D model. Solid Edge calls this clipping. To do this, you start off by setting up 1 or 2 clipping planes and then cut the model. The section view or clipping can be turned on or off easily from the ribbon. There's one more type of view tool that I want to talk about, and that will be found in the Tools tab in the Environs area. This is the ERA, which is Explode, Render, and Animate. This tool will allow you to explode parts in an assembly, which can be done automatically or manually. Let's try the auto explode. You just press the button and tell it to explode. Get out of the exploded view by closing the ERA. Rendering and animation for photo quality stills and video can be done using the included KeyShot renderer and the animation editor to establish timelines, key points, for motion and recording. Thanks for watching.